Chapter 1 is about the basics of economics, like, for example, scarcity, because people have to choose between two items because they don't have enough money, such as like buying TV or food. This chapter talks about the differences between communism and capitalism. It also talks about what makes up the American economy, which is the limited role of government, freedom of enterprise, freedom of choice, profit incentive, competition, and owning private property. This chapter is about our decision making as a consumer. Before we make any purchases, we should gather information on what we want to buy, such as reading reviews of different brands and models, research it on the internet, go to stores and compare prices, and then you could always look at brochures and catalogs to find the lowest price. Chapter 4 is about credit, and there's two main sources of credit, which are credit cards, and then there's financial institutions such as banks, which can give you loans and stuff for houses and cars. And then lenders will look at your credit score to see if you've been paying back the money you owe on time. If you haven't, then they probably won't lend you or loan you the money. 5 is about trade-offs between, and an example of a trade-off would be value versus price. The more money you pay for something, the higher quality the item. The lower amount you pay, the lower the quality. And it also gets into renting versus buying a home. It lists the advantages of renting and advantages of owning your own home. Some renting advantages is lower monthly costs, but advantages of owning a house would be you get a tax benefit. Chapter 6 is about saving. It says we should save our income so we can put it away for future use. It lists some steps on how to save, and it also says that when we save money, we should invest it so we can make more back. For example, we could do stocks or bonds. Those are good ways to save. And it also says that we should diversify, especially if we're looking to retire, because the greater the risk involved in any venture, the greater the return that you can get, but also greater is the loss. This chapter is about the law of demand and the law of supply and the equilibrium. So as prices go up, quantity of demand will go down. As prices go down, quantity of demand goes up. And the law of supply states that as prices go up, quantity of supplies goes up too, but as prices go down, quantity of supplies go down. And it also states that the point at which the quantity demanded and the quality supplied meet, it's called the equilibrium price. Chapter 8 is about businesses, and it talks about how a business operates. It talks about expenses, advertising, and risks involved in business. It also shows the two types of main businesses, or the ways businesses are organized. It can be a sole proprietorship or a partnership. A partnership is when business is owned by two or more people, and a sole proprietorship is a business owned or operated by one person. And it also says that corporations in the U.S. are treated as if they're run by individuals, but even though it may be treated like that, it is run by more than one person. Chapter 9 is about competition and monopolies, and there are 4 basic market structures. There's the perfect competition, the monopolistic competition, the oligopoly, and the monopoly. The perfect competition is the most competitive, and the monopoly is the least competitive. And the government has stepped in to help promote efficiency, competition, and fairness in the market. And they do this through federal regulatory agencies, such as the FTC, FDA, SEC, EPA, and other agencies similar to those. Chapter 11 is about marketing, and the main purpose of marketing is to convince consumers they will need a certain product or service, and it will help them. And there's 4 P's of marketing, which are product, price, placement, and promotion. And to get this product out to the people, it goes through distribution channels from like the wholesaler to the retailer to the consumer. Chapter 12 is about the American labor force, and it talks about as uh, supply and demand for jobs will ultimately determine how much you get paid for the job. And it also goes over how labor unions are formed and why they are formed. And because recently working conditions have improved, membership in unions have been declining steadily. Chapter 14 is about money, and money functions as a medium of exchange and a unit of accounting. And all money has characteristics. It's durable, portable, accepted, stable in value. And also there are different types of money. You can get in bills, coins, uh, debit cards, or credit cards. Chapter 15 is about the Federal Reserve System. The Federal Reserve System has the power to regulate our money. And when it comes to regulating our money, they have 2 types of policy. They have the loose money policy and the tight money policy. The loose money policy is more like inflation, and the tight money policy is recession. Chapter 16 is about government spending at all levels. That includes federal, state, and local. Recently, in the last couple of years, it has been increasing. Government regulates certain aspects of the economy, which includes protecting the consumer, promoting competition, regulating negative byproducts of the production process. The government has a budget-making process which is used to balance what the government takes in with what it spends. Chapter 17 is about stabilizing the national economy, and a major goal in stabilizing is to have a low unemployment rate. And economists classify unemployment in 4 types. There's cyclical, structural, seasonal, and frictional. And there's 2 theories behind inflation. There's the demand pull theory and cost push theory. And most economists um, believe in 2 theories on the best way to stabilize the economy, which is the fiscal policy approach. There's a monetarist approach,